Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's time for some more Workers and Resources. I'm your playhost, Calvin, where I'm very quickly trying to get this distribution office rebuilt. Because losing that also probably cost me like 1.2 million in vehicles, which is not great. Oh well. The meat production is kind of online. I'm still trying to work out exactly what I'm going to be doing with this. Because, honestly, the distribution office does not seem to be working the way I wanted it. You know? I don't know. Maybe it is. But, like, I feel like literally just having 4 lines is going to make this work functionally better. You know? Like if I just made 4 lines here, I'm thinking this would actually just end up being better, and a lot better. We don't. I don't think anyway have any dedicated like livestock trucks, do we? I'll double check though. It'd be like total capacity. I think there might be some train cars with that. I know especially from the western side. So yeah, no. Because those often have a much higher efficiency rate. But yeah, no, I've started the meat distribution up a little bit. Our 2 major metropoles are currently the only ones receiving meat, so that's here and Zamosk. Yeah, so Tiraspol and Zamosk are currently the only 2 metropoles receiving meat. Kem and Lubin and Radom are still, I believe, importing meat. I swear at some point I thought oh yeah, I did chemicals in. Good. I just don't know where I put it. Ah, there it is, yeah. I've got some of the meat storage is built. It's just going to be some continued work. On a side note, I am going to mark this as a high priority, so let's go. Because the harvest starts at the end of July, so I want to have that ready. But yeah, I feel like 3 trucks here should never be idle. Like, they're set to 0. They should always be running. Okay. I'm just going to kind of unilaterally decide here that the distribution office was a mistake. And I am just going to run 4 lines. I had hoped that that would cover things, but, you know, never does. Nothing ever quite works as you would plan it to. I'm really debating if I want to use wait until unloaded. Well, I should definitely use wait until loaded. Yeah, you know what, it'll probably be fine. Assuming this never ends up full of garbage, which it never should. Never should. Smart me will, you know, go, hey, there's a way you can make sure it doesn't fill up with garbage, dumbass. You can put down a waste collection bin. And you know, I ain't wrong. No, I think we just use the small one. It's just a slaughterhouse. Anyway. Do that. The slaughterhouse can't... Yeah, like it'll be fine. This will allow me to safely be using wait until unloaded without risk of backing up the slaughterhouse. Permanently. At least probably. Knowing my luck, yeah, well, no. Because there's 2 slots in. Although there's definitely the meat collection trucks that could also come. The meat collection trucks go here. So it's fine. Yeah. Alright, that is 100% safe, yes. train is waiting too long. Yeah, you know, I guess fair point. You know, I guess fair point. So, let's maybe sort some things out here. Cancel these semaphores. Not exactly how I want that to work, but it'll do. Oh, good lord. What do you mean you're heading to the dump off there? Yeah, and you can't move any further. Oh. Oh, Lord. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. You're going back to the dump and turn around. And you're going to ignore your red signal. And you're going to go to the right one. Aren't you? No, you're not. Because for whatever goddamn reason, sometimes these trains are stupid. There's a green light. You go to the green light. Yeah, even if I try and reprogram it to run another line, it just fucking refuses. Okay. Well, congratulations. You've won a one-way trip back to your previous station. Have fun. That mostly sorts it out, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, trying to burn most of my waste was a bit ambitious. This actually got built fairly quickly thanks to the magical power of helicopters. And now we produce this with a pretty decent result. It's majority construction waste. There's a decent chunk of metal scrap and some ash there. More or less as expected. The main problem, of course, is we are not able to process the waste fast enough, it looks like, and get it out of here. Which is pretty tough. Or at least we might be able to. It's a little iffy right now. We're trying our best. Yeah, there's a slight problem with this thing actually needing to burn stuff. And also apparently needs drinking water. Which, yeah, that's probably might be. I think I ended up, yeah, putting a water substation there. Which, you know, to be fair, yeah, it could be moved over a fair bit. Like, there's nothing beyond that steel mill. Wait, oh no, the steel mill has its own drinking water supply, doesn't it? Yes, right. Okay, so there's a way around that, then. What the hell? God, this... Never mind, apparently this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Okay, hold on. Okay. I think the actual problem is I'm zoomed in too much, and it's not correctly registering some things, because it definitely... Yeah. Alright, this is fine. In the grand scheme of things anyway. So I'm going to just transfer some stuff over, assign our construction offices to that, as well as building out most of, I don't know. The problem is I have no way of telling what grade of pipe I used here. Right, like... That looks like I used the medium grade, right? Yeah, the large one's too large. The small one's too small. So I'm just gonna have to fucking pray. that I'm eyeballing this correctly. There's a solid chance I'm not, and God help me in that case. Alright. Let the helicopters in on this as well. Okay. So that'll be good. Let's patch that up and running. Yeah, we're definitely having some import problems. Still, too much imports. Electro components, 27. What in the goddamn am I building? That's kind of a good question. What in the goddamn am I building that takes that much electro components? Windmills? No way, right? Whew. Okay, not building a power plant of any kind. Yeah. 44 tons of electro components, by the way, for the solar power plant. There's a reason we don't build those things. Yeah, I don't know. But I managed to import one hell of a lot of it. 27 tons. I might be able to check here. Domestic production, consumption, constructions. Yeah, 2 tons of it there. I don't see that citizen facility. Nope. Huh. Yeah, I don't know where that's going. I'm thinking probably the vehicle maintenance is slipping through the cracks because there's no other way. Anyway, that's fine though. Given our ability to produce our own chemicals now, I want to... The Dora House Customs House. I'm going to authorize the exporting of clothing. Because now that we have chemicals actually producing, excess clothes should be exportable. In theory, what's the matter here? Okay, yeah, you just have no workers. Is that because you're... of course you are. You know, for some reason it didn't occur to me that I would need to, like, pave this or anything else. Oops. Whoopsie-doozies. I don't know, I just kind of assumed it was all going to work and everything would be fine, and I don't know why I did. We're going with foolish mistake on my part. What do you mean some other infrastructure in the way? That's still apparently not good enough, which is slightly concerning. Like, how... You know, how much do we need? Okay, it's apparently never going to be enough. Alright. Well, it's not impossible to deal with, but that's going to complicate some matters. Okay. So the answer is no amount of footpathing is going to help here. Got it. Alright. Maybe. Also, I should probably try out these new brick footpaths that exist. Hang on. I don't know, I feel like there might be a way I can make this all work. But we'll see. I feel like I can do it. Come on. No. Unfortunately, there is literally, I think, a sewer pipe running underneath here that's causing me some problems. I should really have buried my infrastructure that little bit better. Alright. shame I did not. So, there is still a solution for this, of course. It's just a significantly more annoying solution that I didn't want to have to do, which is planning out some more underground shit. Or optionally, it may yet be possible for me to put out some overpass. Or plan out some overpass shit instead, which is probably the right call. Okay. So just maybe a little something like this. Alright. So, any chance this is good enough? Shockingly, yes. Okay. That is, in fact, good enough. Alright, I'm going to keep using the brick footpath, though. Alright, that's good enough on all accounts, it looks like. I'll take it. Alright. There's more than one way to skin a cat, it turns out. Anyway. I'm going to allow more workers to arrive into all of the factories. I do have, like, chemical set up for delivery here. There's no way I don't. Terrace full distribution office? Yep. Yeah. I think you might need a large distribution office, given what's slowly happening to you and your needs. Where do you import your chemicals from? I just want to confirm. Today's warehouse? Good, okay. So yeah, we do have a chemical warehouse here. That's going to chemicals be delivered here. That's going to allow us to use the fabric. That's going to let us export the clothes, which, as you can see, is already massively helping my exports. Yeah, not bad. I just want to double check some more numbers for last month now, before I move further on my meat distribution plans. So, domestic production and consumption. We're going to go with last month. I produced what? 104 meat? Okay. My citizen facility consumed what? No, that's consumption manpower, sorry. My citizen facility consumed what? 65 tons of meat. Okay. Not bad. So that gives me 65 tonnage of meat to work with. So that gives me 35 tons spare meat. That's more than enough in terms of what is being produced. This thing has been repaired, I assume. Still not yet, which is slightly concerning. It's getting there. It's got 3 friggin' tower cranes. It just needs some trucks. It'll be fine. No need to worry. Everything's gonna be fine. Alright. So with that taken care of then, I think I can kind of continue to expand my meat distribution setup. Oh. Oops. Anyway. So you're gonna load up at the terrace pool meat storage. I'm pretty sure I've built meat storages in every city now, right? The problem is it actually has been like a while between when I last played and now. So I'm sure I planned out the meat storage as somewhere sane, and it totally made sense at the time. Now, who the hell knows where I put the damn things? This one would have to have been... Yeah, it's right here, okay. So there's the Lubin meat storage. It should be usually just outside of town. From the accessible way. Kelm may not have one. It's always possible. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. There we go. See, we're getting there. No. Whoops, I already had you primed. Delete that stop. We're gonna have you do the kiln. It's always gonna be loaded. Good. And also should always be waiting until loaded. Alright. I have 2 meat trucks going to Zamosk because I'm pretty sure that's what was needed in order to actually supply this place, because it is a little farther away. I'm actually reconsidering this strategy I've got here. One, I actually may need a 3rd truck. We're still struggling to get enough meat in here, which is fine. But I'm realizing that the problem with multiple meat trucks going to the same meat storage is that there's only ever 2 slots, which is something I really have to be careful and avoid. Otherwise, they're just going to have to run constantly. There is a larger meat storage that might work here. Let me check again over here at the larger meat storage. What's its load vehicle capacity? 2. So mentally right now, I'm actually trying to figure out what the winning strategy is. I either put a road station for loading and unloading, or just multiple meat storages that each supply part of the city. I think the winning solution is the meat store, or the road storage, right? That is what I should do. Road cargo station. You know? There's 4, there's 2, there's a 6er. This would allow me to have up to theoretically infinity, since the trucks could just back up out of this, supplying Zamosk as need be. Wow, we are low on meat here now. Well, you know, that is actually a little bit concerning, given, you know, we have the very fast meat trucks, right? And they get to take the full 95 kilometers an hour. Really? You're not doing an overtake? Come on. Along pretty much the entire route. So I'm a little concerned with how long it takes them to get out here. And also seemingly just how much meat is consumed out here. Okay. I think either way I have to acquiesce and design something new. Zamosk is too many people, too far away from my meat production, for even 2 trucks to supply. There might be another option for Zamosk, as it does have... Actually, there's an open slot there. I could run a meat train. I did hook up the meat over here to the train network for future use. So if I can put a meat storage here, this might actually just work. Then we might be able to actually get some Zamosk more. I don't know what the hell that was. I was liking. We might just be able to... Oh, I can. And the real question is do I have to do 75 tons of meat? I guess question 1, can I fit a larger meat storage? I can, yes. Okay. I think I acquiesce to a larger meat storage, and I think I hook up Zamosk via train. Yes, that seems reasonable to me. Yeah. That seems reasonable. Since this is a train station as well as a warehouse, it can push into adjacent inventories, thankfully. Yeah, nobody cares. Wait, oh god, people are still allowed to move in there. That's the problem. We're just kind of letting Sandemiras die. It cannot store or export chemicals. Yay! How are we doing at processing this waste? Like, it is moving, which is good. I think I currently only have the mines and the steel mill feeding in. Which kind of makes sense. That's where most of my waste comes from. Unfortunately, I think it's also like the least burnable waste, but it's actually going okay here because we still have only, 20%, 20 to 30% construction waste or whatever. 5 to 10% metal scrap. So we're still reducing the waste by roughly 2/3 in size. And generating power for export. How are we doing out here? Okay, that's actually built. That's good. I just need to double check on some other things going on right now. Like, is this bit done yet? It is. Alright. Hang on, I need some covered holes. So, sort by total capacity. Do I want to take the 13... Like, that's the thing, right? 13 tons. Currently I use the SKDs, which are fine enough. It would salvage a little bit more, wouldn't it? I guess that's the thing. It salvages a little more. Even if they don't have the ability to use the extra speed. So. I'll spring for them, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah. Okay. Alright, so we have Kelm. Good to go. That's covered. That's covered. Okay, so the Kelm Shopping Center here. You have just a meat truck going to the border, I assume? Yes. You're going to substitute that now. Now the meat truck go here to load meat. Good. Alright, so that gets Kelm onto the meat. Locally sourced and produced meat. And then I just need to start hooking up Lubin. Again, this further reduces the amount I need to import by a lot. So we're good. I'm also kind of curious to have a bit of an eye on this and see what happens. Sure, we have a skid, coming in real quick here. Oh, Jesus, that's far away. Why are you going so slow? I assume there was something to do with the weird hilling there, but... yeah. Unfortunately, in general, they have to go pick up bricks from our internal thing, but hey, we don't need asphalt externally anymore. I love these new brick roads they added in the new patch. Handy things. Let's see. Construction office site rebuilt. I'm just kind of curious if I'll see any mechanism come. So, annoyingly enough, I think this is the downside for brick roads, is I don't think there is a mechanism that I can use to build them. Which generally was true for the first 20 years of the game anyway. But yeah, we can now use bricks for roads, so that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, let's go to the freaking... station. Okay. Anyway, that's all fine and dandy. Harvest will begin soon. That field's gonna produce this year. Having 4 vehicles running the line Except there's definitely one that doesn't have anything running the line. Because there's 2 vehicles there. Hold on. I know exactly what's happening here. Load the livestock. Cancel, go to depot. Alright, so that is, yeah, all 4 of them should now be doing that, and meat production should be more than enough at this point. Alright. So this place is going to get constructed real quick, I'm sure. Unfortunately, our people may not actually have need for a little bit more. May otherwise be struggling, I see. I do need... I don't have any spare locomotives. That's unfortunate. But understandable. I'm going to need a fresh PM3. No, I don't want boost. Alright, so cargo wagons. So the ZBY refrigeration wagon. 4 tons, 22 tons, 22 meters, 22 meters. Okay. If I put refrigerated, yeah, those are my only 2 options. Seems fair enough. I'm trying to think if I actually need more than, like, trees. Probably not. Lord knows, the internal distribution office is already completely overworked. I'm going to need to break up my distribution hub into a series of distribution offices. Likely each individual office dealing with the distribution of a specific good. You know, or something along those lines. Alternatively, I can just run it as a line. It's, like, allowed. You know? It's just a really expensive-ass line to be running. You know? Don't mind me, just a casual mill. For a line, which I guess maybe we'll see. But yeah, this little idea I had to put an incinerator here is kind of working. We're definitely having some export issues though. No, I don't think we are, because the amount of garbage in here is falling. I've had to invest in some extra garbage trains to help with this situation. But as a mild, interesting note now, you know, the garbage trains and what the garbage they're exporting is actually positive in value now. So that's neat. All right. So, export office. I need to have a conversation with you. Actually, do I? Maybe. I don't know. Let's find out. Because here's the thing. This thing can actually only store 45 tons of chemicals. How much is that in the grand scheme of things? Right? Like, each boxcar can do 20 tons. It's actually not a ton of chemicals in terms of what, like, could theoretically be exported. So, I need to have a bit of a question with you, and if you have any slots left I could even theoretically use for any connections. None. Okay. It's not actually all that unexpected, however. It's unfortunate, though. Honestly, given the, you know, state of the storage imports, I might change that up. As mentioned before, this is a train station, so if I hook up, say, a chemical storage to it, like a covered storage that could store chemicals, then the train could pull in here and also be able to pull chemicals from there. That would potentially allow me to export chemicals, which would be cool. Alright, so now that all the other crises are dealt with, I just need to cancel plumbing here. There's one other thing I'm worried about. Though, which is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I have very little steel. I have very little steel. That's actually better than when I last looked. I was down to below 100 tons, and so I was kind of panicked about that when I saw it when I booted up. But no, okay, it looks like we're trending upwards a little bit. Alright. That's what I like to hear and see. Okay, so I'm just gonna run, like... It is a line, I think. God, am I really gonna be that wasteful? I think I have to be that wasteful until I have enough lines where I can feasibly make a new distribution office and like pull the trains from those. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. The importing office could also just handle it. Yeah. Maybe the import office just handles it. Because honestly, most of the time the import office is pretty chill. Since its only real job is collecting grain storage and stuff, right? Collecting grain. Bringing it to the central granary. And, well, it is becoming a bigger job over the days. It's not too bad. And I think they end up with at least some extra trains, if not extra wagons. So, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put that there. So, the importing office, please unload your wagons. And then come back. The problem is I know when I get it into the importing office, it's an absolute bitch to get the wagons out. But I'm gonna say, there's no way you have all of your trains in use, right? God damn, you do. How? You only have, like, 6 things that you're doing, right? Yeah, and one of those is unchecked. God damn. Oh well, it's fine. I don't have to worry about it. So, the Zamosk warehouse, and... Actually, in general, phasing out warehouse 2 might be the way to go. Because then I can actually put it in the distribution office, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, I've now unloaded the wagons in the importing office, so we're probably cooked. Oh, no, we haven't yet. I can... Alright, I have to pause, and I need to think. How am I handling this? Okay. Chemical plant, yeah. If I get rid of Zamosk Warehouse 1, and simply unload everything to Zamosk Warehouse 2, which should be for the most part fine, I can set this as a load point for the meat. Except realistically, that doesn't really matter. Again, I recognize I'm going to have to upgrade my entire distribution system at some point. Also, I managed to undo the wrong warehouse, so go me. As our system grows. And I think I just have to accept that. I don't know why sometimes I have trouble accepting things like that, you know? I hate entering into the transitory state where things are not perfect, you know? Oh, no. This is not what I anticipated. You are not capable of pushing resources to this. As I assumed you would be, because this is the train station. I admit here, I was operating under that assumption. Because it should work like that. But apparently these hybrid warehouse train stations cannot push They may be able to pull. Actually, they can definitely pull. And they can definitely push. You know, I'm actually kind of curious about running it as a line. I have a feeling it's actually going to work way better. Hang on. So move to the stop and click Yui. Hopefully, oh no, you're coming back in. That's not great. Alright, well, hopefully we don't have to take all of its things, so. Oh, and you're lost now. No, whatever. You'll get it all figured out. I'm gonna guess that this is actually a problem with the distribution office. You know? The distribution office is incapable of seeing that it can unload at the small square house, is my theory. And we're going to try that theory and see how that works in practice. I assume the train there is running around to one of the roundabouts and should be back shortly. Yes. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be completely random, which... Oh, yep, I got them. Okay. You're done. Yeah. So, just hypothetically, can I... You know, you're just going to unload meat there. In theory. Yeah, the Moss warehouse. I can, in fact, unload meat. This is an issue with specifically the distribution office, which is annoying. I can't say I'm particularly surprised. But yeah. The distribution office has little quirks like that that we kind of deal with. Alright. So we want to confirm. Waste seems like it's being dealt with. They're just taking it to Chemise Hill. So I think we're good. These never got built. Hey, helicopter construction offices, what are you up to? I guess these are on the list, but it's taking a while. To be fair, I think I'm fine with them taking a while. At the end of the day. Oh, good. The helicopter brick storage is ready to go. Yeah, you should be going to get bricks from... Yep, good. Okay. So we'll get the bricks loaded up. That should help. Fabric factory, no workers still. Although that looks like that's more of an issue of... getting these things built. But that's fine. Like I say, we're producing extra clothes for export from our excess of crops, which is pretty good. And that's going to help buoy our economy. I've still got some work to do, unfortunately, before I can get everything sorted. I'm thinking it's soon going to be time to make our move to Warsaw. I need to work on the train and infrastructure around here a bit, though, before I do so. Can I connect you up into a... I think I can. Good. weird, but hey, it works, right? Okay, so hypothetically this train's going this way, it goes this way. This train's coming this way, it goes this way, so that's all fine. Okay, so that's perfectly legal, good. Unfortunately, the moment I start getting out of the area I've developed, we do start hitting the wooden railways again, which is slightly annoying. Not overly surprising, admittedly, but still, like I say, slightly annoying. At least with the decency, just be one chunk. Come on. Alright. So for obvious reasons, I'm going to approve all that as two-way for the time being. That will kind of get us over to here, which is good. I'm going to mark this for demolition. And maybe at some point we'll be able to hook into the railway from that direction. I also start a bit of work over here, although I haven't assigned any offices to this zone yet. Not that anyone can actually reach it. So, might have to do that and start cleaning up. Warsaw has suffered a lot of damage. Yeah. Got some railway plans made here. Interesting. So rail junction, or rail dead end over the road. Interesting. So if I made it because it's a wood-based railway, no, it still won't like it. Okay. So, hold on. The problem is actually just that, which is something we can deal with. One, make that. Two, hook that in. Approve. Yeah, and then there's no railway junction problem. So if I go over here and I think it's the steel brick bridge. I forget though. Yeah. It's perfectly fine with this. Like I said, we're gonna try and get this repaired at some point. Built up. We still got a lot of work to do in that direction if we are to repair the infrastructure going into Warsaw. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, the Radom Railway itself is still a bit of a mess, isn't it? Okay. It might behoove me to, like, repair out and build out this section before I try to go any further. As well as, notably, delete that. Oh my god. Connect. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway. Just delete the crap out of all that. Okay. There's just a lot of little miscellaneous to do right now. Alright. Assign some new constructions for you as well. Concretify that. I guess in actuality, a lot of this needs to be concreted, doesn't it? Oh no, hold on. Spend the demolition. Okay, well, I screwed up and can't do anything with that now. Which is pretty much the nightmare scenario. Like, nightmare enough I'm actually going to reload. And try all that again. Because trying to... Oh god, it doesn't... It's done fine. Because trying to get that fixed up otherwise is going to be a nightmare. So thank you everyone for watching. I've been your player, Galvin. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, folks. Have a good night.